Fall. It means there's a crisp chill in the air. It's time to gather wood for the season's first fire, and the leaves are piling up outside. But along the coast of South Carolina, fall is kind of like summer, only cooler. Fires are simply for roasting oysters, and the only raking you might do is in a sand trap of one of our many challenging golf courses. Tap now to discover the joys of fall on the coast of South Carolina, or visit fallinsc.com.
Another wild weekend in the NFL. Welcome to Strikeout Beer. What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Strikeout Beer podcast. I'm RD, and oh boy, another wild weekend. I actually had my mic muted. We're just here for some fun, right? We're here for some action to help us get through this beautiful Sunday afternoon. We got late night football about to start. Sunday night football is about to start here in about an hour. Figured I'd jump on just a little bit early. Dallas game still on. The Washington game still on. Old School's in the house. Sup, Old School? How you doing? But I jumped over to Lone Star Brewery, Lone Star Beverages in Carrollton, not a sponsor, but grabbed a couple beers. Here's one that we're going to be drinking tonight. 6 Point Brewery, Resin Double IPA. Beer is culture, 9.1% alcohol by volume. We're going to crack this bad boy. Then I'm going to tell you a little bit about it. Then we're going to go around the NFL a little bit slower this time because Old School asked for it to be just a little bit slower. Let's get cracking. All right. I'm going to pour it for everybody that's watching on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Twitch. If you're listening to this beautiful podcast on Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio, wherever you stream podcasts, you can see me pour a beer live on the stream. Ooh, yeah, look at that. That's pretty. So I got the big old 19.2 ounce cans, and you know I got to take a picture, right? It's happening. So we just have to deal with that. So appreciate everybody being here. Hope you had a great day. Hope your picks were wonderful. We're going to go around, like I said, around the NFL. There we go. So good looking can. I love the green. That's what jumped off at me. It's from Brooklyn, New York. Where are they out of? Are they out of Brooklyn? They are out of Brooklyn, right? 6 Point Brewery is a brewery founded in 2004 in Red Hook, Brooklyn, New York. The 6 Point logo is a combination of the brewer's hexagram and the nautical star. The company's motto is "Beer is culture," a play on cultural significance of beer and brewing, as well as the point that yeast is. There you go. In fact, a culture. Cool. Well, cheers to you. Ooh, it's hoppy. She is super effing hoppy. I'll tell you that right now. Hiya. Ooh, let's see. We remember our first sip of hoppy beer, or do you? Yeah, that's what it says. Do you? Nearly spit that S out. Now we fantasize about that stuff, thinking about those hop cones bursting with juice, ripe as all hell. Makes you look forward to the first resin all day long. Can't wait. This is a quite hoppy beer. If you can get your hands on it, they obviously distribute nationwide. Because I'm down here in Texas and I got my hands on it. It will not, for some reason, I can't get this page to go any further. There's a lot of writing on here. But yeah, that's it. I'm not going to read anything else. I think we're good there. Anyways, super hoppy. Try this and let me know what you think. One more before we get going. Hiya. Anyways, so yeah, what's been going on in everybody's world? Oh, mine's just basic, everyday stuff. You know, we got, so Lizzie's dad is moving in with us. I think that's the biggest news of like the year for anybody that's around here, because I've never lived with an elderly person, right? And he's like, I don't know, he went to high school with Jesus, but he called him something else like Jesus back then, right? And I'm like, I don't even know what to do at this point. Like, we cleared out a room, our guest room. We had so Lizzie has the wild, not what was it called? Happy Wildflowers. I got 3D prints all in the house. My kid used to live in that room, and I was just like, God, we got to get everything out of here. So you're talking about clearing out an entire closet, clearing out all the dresser drawers, all the stuff that all our storage stuff that we have in there as well. You're dumb. I'm not dumb. You're dumb. You stupid. Anyway. And it's been a long weekend. That's all we've done. I can hear her yelling in the other room. This beer's too damn hoppy. It's too hoppy. And it's just like, it is like been a really long process, and you have to throw stuff away. You can't keep everything. We're going through even like the garage as well. That's really up next as well. So there's stuff you're coming across. I'm coming across old cymbals and stuff like that from like my kid's drum kit that they didn't go with the drum kit for some reason. The hi-hats were left behind. I've got computer parts and crap in there. I'm like, I don't know what to do with this stuff. I'm scanning. So the one cool thing about eBay is you can take a picture of something these days. You can just take a picture of your phone. It rolls up all this crap. Like, I got like 2 years of Game Informer. And one of them, I'll tell you this, one of them's when Fortnite dropped. It's a whole thing about Fortnite and Epic Games and whatnot. So I was like, all right, this got to be, it's like towards like $20. So like one book's like $20. I'm like, all right. So I don't like throwing stuff away. I don't mind getting rid of stuff, and I don't sell a lot of this crap either. So I'll end up donating it, or if I find something that I think has got some value, Alan will take it. He'll sell it at his antique mall or something like that. It just is. It's a process getting all this crap. So I took all my stuff out of that room and brought it in here, and then I continued to throw stuff away, donate things, and whatnot, and going through all these pops. That's the other thing, right? So you see these Deadpool pops. There's like, I got 5 of the giant ones, and then a billion other little pops. They're just crap everywhere. But I got a lot of it in there in the closet. Now, a lot of that was helmets, like Black Series helmets and things like that I've had Star Wars. You see them lined up behind me, right? So I've got all the boxes of those are up in the attic. Well, I still have probably 10 more helmets that you cannot see, and I had to put some back in the box and whatnot. It really was oh God, it's terrible. Lots of work, lots of effort, but we're getting there. We're getting there, right? Let's move on. Let's just move on. Let's move on. Tired of talking about it. Don't even want to talk about it no more. House is getting smaller. I'm getting squeezed into a little box. These people are taking over. Anyways, so several new breweries in the Metroplex. This weekend was going to be one of those weekends where we made it out to a handful of them, like Keyworth Brewing. There was another one that was up in Allen. So we're members of these the brewery groups, like on Facebook or something like that. And there's people that, hey, come check out this new brewery. It just popped up over here, over here, over here. So there's probably 3 in the DFW Metroplex that I need to get to. I was like, this weekend be perfect. It's not going to be crazy crap weather. Not bad patio weather, but we could not get out of the freaking house because it was so freaking busy. So busy. Anywho, so we're going to push that off hopefully for next weekend. Now, Lizzie and I are off the week of Thanksgiving. So I think that's going to be brewery and golf week all week. I think that's what it's going to be. A lot of fun to kind of get ready for Thanksgiving. Now, we're not even hosting Thanksgiving like we usually do. We're going to the Cowboy game this year. Cowboys in Washington, if I'm not mistaken. We're going to go out there, tailgate, have some fun. We're tired of trying to get everybody's, what's it called, schedule aligned. We're just kind of over it. Like, you know what? This year we're going to take time off. We'll see if they want to do something next year, or we'll do it the day after. I did float out Friday. And so that's kind of what my family's always done up in Kentucky. It's like, we'll do it the day after because we let the families hang out with the other families, unless there's like, if I come into town or something like that, they'll we'll have Thanksgiving dinner that night. They'll make it happen. And it'll be a nighttime thing. And it's like, you got to coordinate for like 3 different visits. So you go to my mom's, you go to my grandmother's, you go to my dad's, it's like, gotta go. It's great seeing everybody though. It is what it is. Now with it being Thanksgiving, I made a big stink like a week or so ago about how we're not putting up any Christmas lights. We're not putting up the Christmas tree. We're not watching any Christmas movies. We're not going to skip on Thanksgiving. I say it every year. This year I kind of lost the battle. Christmas trees went up yesterday. Just because we had to get it out of the way. We start going around the attic and going through stuff. It's like you pull crap down. We put up probably 10 containers of Halloween stuff last week. And before we finished off the rest, we're like, hey, we got to put up the other stuff. But we got to pull down some Christmas crap. So since the tree boxes are huge, we went ahead and pulled them down. We got them both up. One of them's decorated. The other one is not. We're just going to not decorate it until later, obviously. But, I did break the seal and I watched a couple Christmas movies. Now, listen, in my defense, I already watched Dutch and Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. 2 classic Thanksgiving movies. Checked them both off my list. Bing, bang, boom. And then, I watched Christmas Vacation and then Fred Claus or something like that. I haven't watched anything else, though. That's the only 2 movies. Yeah, those are the only 2 movies I watched. Mike Graham, I appreciate that like. How you doing, pal? Good to see you. So I am trying to hold off, but Christmas has already got a hold of us. Now, who won this Atlanta game? Atlanta, Arizona. I know it came down. Oh, that's right. They kicked a field goal. There was a ton of walk-off kicks today to win. We'll talk more about that coming up here later in a minute. So, no, I'm trying not to screw around and jump over Thanksgiving, but it just like this whole freaking year has just been bonkers. And something else. Who else has Halloween candy sitting around? I'm a good little lad. What's up, Mike? How we doing? I'm a good little lad. I haven't had candy in a while. Been dropping some pounds, working out, feeling good. And then made it even through like Halloween. I was like, I had a little candy corn here, a little, maybe a little Snickers here, maybe some Skittles, like one treat a day type thing. And then all of a sudden, oh God, I fell hard. We've got like 3 bags of candy and your old pal RD is having a tough time. I can't eat enough candy. And the other problem with that is since I haven't had sugar in a while, it's hurting like my stomach and everything. I was like, I don't feel good at all. Sugar is the devil. Like, I wish I could just cut it all the way out. But this beer is hoppier than hell. I could see I feel like as I'm drinking this beer, my mustache is getting a little wider, and I get a little cool beard. I got some suspenders on and shit, I look like I sing back up on the damn, some of that stupid string band. But I feel like a total hipster drinking this beer. But I'm holding on, hanging on, holding on. But Halloween candy's got a firm grip on me. It sucks. Oh, I'm getting some alerts here. All right, I had like alerts going off all day today. It's pretty nice, pretty nice. The one thing I noticed today was football fans wear the weirdest shit. That is seriously one of the. I don't get it. Mumford and Sons. That's the damn band name. I know it. I couldn't think of it. I could think of the tune in my head, Mike. I was sitting there because we play like not rock band, Guitar Hero or whatever, and that's on there as a big player or whatever. It's like, oh my goodness. So we're going to go around the NFL, have a little chat, a little bit of fun, and kind of recap it. And then we'll talk a little fantasy as well. We'll talk about the big hitters on fantasy football this week. They should all be updated. We have a game tonight that starts in about an hour. Then we have a game on Monday that starts obviously tomorrow night about 7, if I'm not mistaken. But we'll go T to B. Also look at the rankings, figure out who's actually going to win the damn Super Bowl. I mean, obviously the Cowboys just beat the Giants, so they're going to the Super Bowl. So who's going to meet them in the AFC? There's no one more jacked than a Cowboy fan after beating the 2 and whatever BS Giants. Like they were going bonkers. Oh, the Lions fans are just as bad. Where the hell's Allen at? You know what I mean? Like, I'm sure he's running through the house streaking. We're going streaking! We're going down to the quad. Have they beat anybody with an over 500 record? I'm asking for Cowboy fans and Lions fans. Has either one of those teams beat a team with a winning record? Because I know we talked about Miami last week, and it was a no. All right, screw it. Let's go. Let's jump into it. First off, let's start with bye weeks. Week 10 of the NFL season. You got the Kansas City Chiefs, or the Chefs, whatever you want to call them, the Los Angeles Rams, Miami Dolphins, and Philadelphia Eagles. You're talking some high-performing teams, some stars, some studs. There was a lot of plug-and-play going on this week. You're talking not having the Chiefs. You didn't have Tyreek Hill or Pat Mahomes or Kelsey and gang. Now, the Rams, there's really only one that you're worried about, not having, what's his name, but no one cares. Like, oh, my phone's still going off. I almost called him Hunter Henry for some reason. I don't even know his freaking name. And obviously with the Dolphins, Tyreek Hill, Tua Tagovailoa, and Mr. Waddle himself. Philly, no Jalen Hurts, Deontay Johnson. What I was going to say, Deontay Johnson. This is how bad of a day that I'm having. He's number 8 on Philadelphia, and then you got AJ Green, Deontay. Holy smokes! I'm struggling today. Straight up struggle. Doubt it. They're going to Super Bowl. Don't worry about it, buddy. And you probably said doubt it that they haven't beat anybody. Yeah, they probably haven't beat anybody. Guarantee it. Guarantee it. All right, let's start off with, let me get this out of the way. I don't know why I got that. I got like a credit card in there. I got that I just left on my desk. All right, Thursday night football. I don't know if we could have had a worse matchup. The Carolina Panthers heading to Chicago to take on the Bears. Now, I really didn't have a doubt in this game for the Bears to win.
Zycam knows that when you live life to the fullest, you never want to let a cold slow you down. With Zycam's cold shortening products, you can actually shorten colds when taken at the first sign. And with the winter chill in the air, you need the #1 cold shortening brand to help shorten a cold when taken at the first sign this season. Because you should never let a cold stop you from missing out on your favorite moments of the season. Find Zycam in your local cold and flu aisle.
Fall. It means there's a crisp chill in the air. It's time to gather wood for the season's first fire, and the leaves are piling up outside. But along the coast of South Carolina, fall is kind of like summer, only cooler. Fires are simply for roasting oysters, and the only raking you might do is in a sand trap of one of our many challenging golf courses. Tap now to discover the joys of fall on the coast of South Carolina, or visit fallinsc.com.
But hey, at least Carolina made it close. It was a completely boring game. Bryce Young threw for 185 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions, though. Leading rusher was Chuba Hubbard with 23. Bryce Young was right behind him with 18. Miles Sanders studding it up. 2 carries for -5 yards. Don't worry, he don't care about your fantasy football team. Tyson Bagent, 162 yards. And Deontay Foreman rushed in for a touchdown. Well, he had 80 yards that night. It's not bad. He carried the ball 21 times over Roshan Johnson. I thought it was phenomenal. I mean, that's your guy going forward. I think what's his name? Herbert's coming off of IR. They just, on a short week like that, they're like, nah, you're going to stay there for one more week. Khalil Herbert would be the guy going forward. But I think, you have to pick up Deontay Foreman as a handcuff. And he's had some really good games. He really has. Now, you'll see me clicking back and forth, and that's just me trying to keep up with the chat and everything like that. I can put that right over here. Why not I do that? Excuse me. This beer is happy. Then the early game in Germany that I don't know if nobody could watch. I think it was on NFL, and you had to have like NFL Plus or Prime or some crap. I don't know what the hell. Either way, it wasn't on the Sunday ticket that claims to have all live out-of-market games on there. They didn't have it. Couldn't find it. I was quite pissed about it. Almost took it out on my imaginary friend. Colts barely beat the New England Patriots. I don't know what to think about this game. When I was sitting there watching the score and the highlights and stuff like that, and I'm like, listen, I know it's Gardner Minshew, but he's not this bad. The Pats suck. I'm pretty sure Mac Jones got his ass benched after missing a wide open a guy in the fourth quarter or something like that. So Minshew, 194 yards, 1 interception. Jonathan Taylor hit the ground hard, 23 carries for 69 yards and a touchdown. Everybody else came back down. Like Moss came right back down to earth. He had 1 carry for 2 yards. At this point, I'm not saying to cut him, but I'm saying don't play him unless there's something wrong with Jonathan Taylor. It's obviously Taylor's team at this point. Mac Jones, 170 yards, 1 interception, and then Zappe came in, threw a couple passes for 25 yards. No one cares. Ramondre Stevenson led the team, 88 yards on 20 carries. Zeke got 54 yards. That's not terrible. Not terrible at all. Chaka, hey, how's it going? I'm down. Let's read this real quick. I'm down 9. Opponent has Jacobs. I have Hall, Wilson, and Raiders. D. Should I start either Javonte or Sutton over Wilson? PPR. I like Javonte. That's who I got in my flex. Now, Sutton is a good play as well, but over Wilson, you know what? Let me see something. PPR, right? You said PPR? I love handling questions on the fly. Love it. Love it. Oh, man. PPR? Man, you know what? I don't know. I don't trust Wilson. Or I don't trust Zach. I just don't trust him. You're sitting there looking like experts and things like that. Sutton and the Broncos are going up against Buffalo. They're in Buffalo. Really tougher defense. got a pretty good rating though. I mean, if I had to, I wouldn't be after Wilson. I would be Javonte. I think I really do. That's me. I couldn't do it with Cortland Sutton, but Javonte Williams, absolutely, no question. Locked in, loaded. I got him starting in my league as well, so we shall share the pain if something happens. How about that? All right. And so, anyways, we're talking about the Colts and the Patriots. A snoozer from hell. The international games are not getting their money worth. And I'm glad this was on some rando channel or NFL where someone had to pay for it, because I feel bad they had to pay for it, but ain't nobody paying for that. I mean, who the hell's paying for that? Next up, pretty good fun little game. It wasn't in the first half, right? It wasn't really in the first quarter. You got the Cleveland Browns traveling to Baltimore to take on those Ravens. You thought it was over. It was 17-3 in the first quarter, then 17-9 end of half. And holy moly, watch out. The Cleveland Browns were coming. Deshaun Watson tossed 213 yards, a touchdown, and an interception. Kareem Hunt ran one in. Jerome Ford, 107 yards on 17 carries. I mean, he just plowed it. Like, went to pound town. Lamar Jackson, 223 yards, a touchdown, 2 costly interceptions. Gus the Bus and Keaton Mitchell both punched it in. Lamar Jackson led the league, obviously, in rushing with 41 yards. Zay Flowers, 5 receptions for 73. That's notable. Odell Beckham had a pretty good. He had 1 catch, but he turned it into a touchdown, nice little slant, and he just took off. But I couldn't believe my eyes as I'm sitting here watching it. So Hall and Javonte. I'm definitely going Javonte. Oh, let me see. Hold on. Hall. I didn't even catch Hall. Hold on. Hold the phone. I'd have to go. Yeah, I'd go running back. Yeah, I mean, I'd have to. Out of those two, yes. Lock it in. I would say, yeah. Give me Breece Hall and Javonte Williams. You should be fine. Your guy has no one else to play, and you're just down by 9. I think this is a dream setup. You could probably play the Raiders defense and get 9 points. Good luck to you. Pulling for you. Yeah, so the Browns and the Ravens, you're like turning it off. You're like, yeah, I don't need to watch this crap. Nothing to see here. And then, holy moly, Browns come back with vengeance. It was a crazy ending. Walk-off field goal to win it. Hell, I think Browns had a chance to tie it up before and missed the extra point. That's how you got 31-33. Bonkers. I thought the Ravens are going to run away with this division. They've looked solid. George, how we doing? Ravens OC should realize Keaton Mitchell should be an RB1. I think a lot of coaches should be realizing a lot of things this week. I think there should be some firings. There's some bad coaching going on in the league, for real. But Ravens look good. I hate that they lost the Browns, because I really did. I thought the Ravens were going to tear through. I thought they had a chance to win the AFC. That's how good I think they are. And today, losing to the Browns at home, yikes. Should I sell high? Kenneth Walker after big game. Who could I get for? You need an RB? Why not just keep him? What's wrong with keeping him? They've shown that they like him. What's wrong with Kenneth Walker? You know what I mean? Like in PPR formats, what the hell did he score today? Hold on, let me look. Put up 21 points today? How much does he usually put up? You get some pretty good yards. I don't like the I really don't like the Yahoo Sports player analysis at all. It just gets if you're just trying to look at something, worried about the schedule, you'd almost want him in shootouts, right? And just like they had today, right? They won 29-26 over the Commanders. We'll talk about that game coming up. They're going against the Rams next week. Then you got the Niners, Cowboys. It's kind of tough. Then back at Niners, Eagles. That is tough. There's a reason to be concerned. I mean, as far as trading for another running back, I mean, no one's gonna, when you swap running backs, you almost have to package, like say a receiver, swap out for another receiver and work a deal that way. Someone that has a running back that, you'd almost try to be buying low on somebody. But that person that probably drafted that person high, maybe Bijan, he just scored today. Like Bijan, fantasy managers they're going ape shit right now. There is no way they trade Bijan now. It's like Arthur Smith is finally like, oh yeah, that's Pollard. Pollard's really good against bad teams. He's exceptional against terrible teams. And I don't know how many more bad teams the Cowboys play this year. Let me look. I'm terrible at advice, but I'm just saying. They play the Panthers next week, which is great. Commanders should get some action. Seahawks, Eagles, Bills, Dolphins, Lions, Commanders. If you want that kind of risk, they just don't utilize it. They brought in like Dimwittle, like for a handful of plays tonight. Let me go find out. I got the box score right here. Cowboys. Tommy DeVito. I always call him Danny DeVito. You know who led the team in rushing today? Rico Dowdle. 50 yards. Pollard put up 49 yards against the Giants. You can't make this kind of stuff up. You know what I'm saying? They didn't dump any off to running backs either. I don't know about Pollard. For me, that's risky. That's a little too much, a little too risky for me, and I don't think I can do it. I'd almost just hold on to Walker. If you can get the Cat to trade you Bijan, but you have to understand that Bijan, like the Falcons right now, don't know what to do. They got weapons. They don't know what to do with these weapons. The coach, the coordinator, everybody gets in the way. Ryan Horton in the house. Well, hello, Boner. I think Dowdle is going to see an increased role and start splitting time with Pollard. I agree. I mean, we just talked about it. He seriously he's already cut in on that action. You know what I mean? Like Pollard was great when Zeke was a starter because nobody liked Zeke anymore. So then every time Pollard entered the game and like for a dump play or something like that, now, yeah, he's a great running back. He is a good running back. Pollard is a good running back. They don't utilize him properly. And against like terrible teams, and he's throwing it downfield to CD like a million times. And all right, we gotta go. We gotta go because it's already 6:47. I got stuff to do. Anyways, Browns upset the Ravens. Can't believe it. Unbelievable. Shocker. Bringing it to the house. Packers travel up to Pittsburgh to take on those pesky Steelers. Bijan gets us inside the 10, only for Arthur Smith to give the ball to Algier or throw the ball out of bounds to Drake. Absolutely. I'm telling you, that's Bijan finally scored. You should have traded last week for him, right? You cannot get Bijan now because he scored. Like now the manager's like, yeah, here we go. Or they might be trying to come up. Hell, they might try to trade you. But I for me, there ain't no way. There is just no way. Oh God, it's such a train wreck. And I like Algier too. I like Bijan. He's had a great. Maybe they're just trying to hold. I don't know. Just trying to keep him healthy. I have no idea. Packers tried to make a run at it. Came up a little bit short against the Steelers. The Steelers are 6-3. No one saw that coming. Steelers are a terrible team, but they play terrible teams, and they somehow win at home. There you go. I mean, Jordan Love had 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, 289 yards. A.J. Dillon led the team in carries, or not carries, yards with 70. Aaron Jones left with 13 carries, but only got 35 yards. Jalen Reed, 84 yards on 5 receptions and a touchdown. Romeo Doubs, one TD on 3 receptions and 31 yards. It was a snooze fest to kind of watch this game. Every time they flipped over to it, I was like, I got other shit to do. I'm not watching. Jaylen Warren got a touchdown. So did Najee Harris. Jaylen Warren had a pretty good day. 15 carries on 101 yards. Najee Harris, 16 carries on 82 yards. Kenny Pickett really didn't have to do anything. Didn't throw any touchdowns, didn't throw any interceptions, which was key to this game. Only 126 yards. George Pickens had 3 catches for 45 yards. So they're going back to the ground and pound, which is good. That's what they need to do. I personally, I didn't see them winning any of these games. Not any. I didn't think they'd be an 0-9, but I mean, come on. Pittsburgh sucks. They're figuring it out. They're running it, and that's what they need to do. And it doesn't hurt to play a terrible Packer team, right? That's beneficial. Guess who found the win column this week? The San Francisco 49ers traversed the Jacksonville Jaguars to show the Jaguars that they are not real. This is not real. They are fake. They ain't winning anything. Niners just beat the hell right out of them, 34-3. They snapped the games. What was it? Christian McCaffrey had so many games in a row. I think it was like 20 with a touchdown. He didn't get in the end zone today. Brock Purdy threw 3 touchdowns. Hell, they brought in Sam Darnold at the end of the game. Christian McCaffrey had 95 yards with 16 carries, but Deebo Samuel got that rushing touchdown. George Kittle got a touchdown. 3 catches for 116 yards. Crazy. Brandon Ayuk, 3 for 55 and a touchdown. CMC, 6 for 47. And then Juszczyk got a receiving touchdown. So Brock Purdy looked good. Jacksonville just looked flat on their heels the entire game. Could not get anything going. So this is a battle. They're both 6-3 now. They had to figure something out. San Francisco they lost 3 games in a row. Then going into the freaking bye week, so many doubts, so many clouds around Purdy. Came out and slung it and played a good team. Jacksonville's not a bad team, but hey, they got exposed.
Zycam knows that when you live life to the fullest, you never want to let a cold slow you down. With Zycam's cold shortening products, you can actually shorten colds when taken at the first sign. And with the winter chill in the air, you need the #1 cold shortening brand to help shorten a cold when taken at the first sign this season. Because you should never let a cold stop you from missing out on your favorite moments of the season. Find Zycam in your local cold and flu aisle.
Hey y'all, Darius Rucker here. You know, a lot of people ask me, what inspires your music? And one of the big things is a strong sense of place. That's why I love my home state of South Carolina and want to share the awesome things it has to offer. From the beautiful mountains down to the sunny coast, it's got it all. Not to mention 2 of my personal favorites, great golf and amazing food. Come see why I love this place. Visit discoversouthcarolina.com.
Let me pour this last little part. Again, we're having 6 Point resin, DIPA. It's hoppier than hell. This is super hoppy beer. Super duper hoppy. There we go. All right. Whew. Jags didn't do much. Trevor Lawrence didn't throw a touchdown. He threw 185 yards, 2 interceptions. ETN ran for 35 yards. Christian Kirk, 6 catches for 104. Didn't find the end zone, but that's still a nice little fantasy. If you're in a PPR league, that's nice. That's real nice. Next up, the Saints traveled to Minnesota to take on the Vikings, and what an S show this was by the Saints. The Vikings were in control the entire way. Never looked back. I will say this. I'm pretty sure that I saw this stat pop up where the Vikings are 0-4 with Justin Jefferson and 4-0 without Justin Jefferson. Just something to think about. Just something to put in that noodle of yours. Saints didn't score a touchdown, I think, till the third quarter. I think, Jameis Winston came in the game. Derek Carr threw 13 completions for 110 yards, and then Jameis Winston came in 122 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. Kamara led with rushing 42 yards. He was pretty much the only back that was back there. Taysom Hill, they decided to get away from Taysom Hill for once, of course, because I had him in my lineup, so why not? Chris Olave, 6 receptions for 94 yards and a touchdown. A.T. Penny, 2 receptions, 38 yards, and a TD. There you go. Now for the Vikings, dude, Joshua Dobbs looks dangerous. I don't know how you feel about Kirk Cousins, but I think right now, you leave Cousins on the bench to get as healthy as he can for however long it takes. You roll with Dobbs till the wheels fall off. Dobbs threw 23 for 34, 268 yards, a TD, no interceptions. Ty Chandler handled most of the bulk of the carries today, 15 carries for 45 yards and a touchdown. Dobbs ran one in himself. He actually scurried for 44 yards, which is real nice. Alexander Madison, 8 carries for 27 yards. You pretty much bench that guy at this point. Now, there was a big question about if TJ Hockenson was going to play, if he was going to be on a snap count, yada, yada, yada. Came out 11 receptions for 134 yards and a touchdown. Jordan Addison put up 4 catches along with Brandon Powell. Addison had 69 yards versus Powell's 35. like I said, you're going to keep Dobbs playing until the wheels fall off. There's no reason to change it. If you're winning now, keep winning, keep going, keep pressing. Let the kid do his work. I mean, obviously he's a decent quarterback. I mean, I'm not saying the Saints are a great team, but the Vikings are 6-4. Let's go. Next up, kind of painful. Houston Texans travel up to the Queen City, take on the Cincinnati Bengals. A walk-off field goal to win it, folks. 30-27. What an amazing game. I've never seen so many drops, mistakes, penalties, BS, and everything else in my life. It was an absolute and utter disaster. I made the comment earlier on Twitter that this is it for the Bengals season. There's nothing else to play for. You lost to the Texans. It's time to close up shop. Let's tank. Let's get a good draft pick. Let's get some capital. Because, yeah, the Bengals came out and scored a touchdown on the first drive, then nothing until the third quarter. Put up 10 in the third, 10 in the fourth, and they were right there poised to win. Hit Tyler Boyd right in the hands, man. Just hit him right in the hands. Now, they're actually showing the replay right now. Burrow just looked off. A couple inches off here, a couple inches off here. You know, it was a tough day, right? But C.J. Stroud, 356 yards, a TD, an interception. Devin Singletary had a hell of a day. I hope you picked him up because with Pierce being out, he was the guy. He had 30 carries, 3-0. I'm not joking. 30 carries for 150 yards and a touchdown. C.J. Stroud ran one in himself. Tank Dell had a nice little day. He scored a touchdown, 6 for 56, but Noah Brown led in receiving, 7 receptions for 172 yards. It was bonkers. Dalton Schultz got in the action, 4 receptions for 71 yards. Crazy. Defense, let's see. No, I'm not talking about defense. Let's go to Joe Burrow. 347 yards, 2 TDs, 2 interceptions. They were costly interceptions. Like, holy moly. Like, they didn't even move. They were just, like, standing there waiting like this, and the ball just hit them right in the hands. It's crazy. Mixon got in the end zone. He had 46 yards rushing on 11 carries. Jamar Chase and Trenton Irwin, got touchdowns. Jamar Chase over 100 yards, 5 receptions, 124 yards. Tyler Boyd, 8 receptions for 117 yards. He should have caught that touchdown pass. We could have been talking a different story today. But what are you going to do? It's the NFL. But like I said, I mean, the season's over for the Bengals, I think, personally. Like, if you make the playoffs, who cares? You're not going to win. You're not going anywhere else. You were in a Super Bowl 2 years ago. You were in an AFC championship last year. You can't – it's hard. It's tough to keep going back and going up in a seriously competitive division or conference, and it's just probably not going to happen, right? Let's be honest with ourselves. Then the Tennessee Titans travel to Tampa Bay to take on those Buccaneers, man. And Will Levis got the start. He threw 199 yards and 1 interception, no TDs. It was a rough day for them. I mean, Titans scored a field goal in the first quarter and then a field goal in the fourth quarter. It was a boring game. It really was. Some miscues and whatnot. Bucs scored a touchdown in the second quarter and the third quarter. Finish her off with a field goal. Derrick Henry ran for 24 yards. You heard me. 24 yards. Yeah. Leading receivers were 61 yards. Kyle Phillips, 3 receptions, and then Spears had 42 yards. Not great, Bill. Not great at all. Baker Mayfield, 278 yards, 2 DDs, and an interception. Rashad White had 20 carries, 51 yards. Next person closer to him was Baker Mayfield, 12 yards. Mike Evans had a pretty good day. Pretty good little day. 6 receptions for 143 yards and a touchdown. Rashad White got in the end zone as well. 2 receptions for 47 yards and a touchdown. Chris Godwin, 4 for 54. No TD. Moving on. Now, let me refresh this one real quick. Some of these late games were still going when I was loading in. But here we go. Detroit Lions take on the Los Angeles Chargers. They head to LA. And now this was a shootout from the beginning. I hope you took the over. You're talking 79 freaking points in this game. It was bonkers. Jared Goff threw for 333 yards and 2 TDs. Montgomery ran for 116 yards on 12 carries and a touchdown. Jamar Gibbs, 14 carries and 77 yards and 2 TDs. Even Amon-Ra St. Brown had a couple carries. Amon-Ra led the team, 8 receptions, 156 yards and a touchdown. Brock Wright got the other receiving touchdown. He's 2 for 23. Everybody else was pretty low. They were all sub 50. Let's check out the Chargers real quick. Herbert tossed 4 touchdowns, but he had an interception. Austin Eckler rushed one in as well. Eckler had 19 carries for 67 yards. Why am I seeing like blurry? Like my contacts are drying out on me. Keenan Allen led the team, 11 receptions for 175 yards and 2 touchdowns. 175 yards. I feel bad for you if you played anybody that had him. I feel bad. Austin Eckler tacked on 4 more receptions for 48 yards. Guyton for 41 and a touchdown. Quentin Johnston got involved with a TD as well, 4 for 34. So I made a nice little day of it. Came down to the last couple seconds. They kick a field goal. This is something I will say, and I put it on Twitter as well. You can follow us at Strikeout Beer on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it. The clock is ticking down, the game clock and the play clock. Play clock hits 0. This is at the 2-minute warning in the fourth quarter. Game clock's at 2:01. Of course they don't blow the whistle. Of course they don't throw the flag. You know what I mean? Like they're like, 2-minute warning, no big deal. Don't worry about it. I got you. So there's always something sus when they win, right? There's always something weird, bonkers. Dylan Busby in this house. What up, bro? How you doing? Dylan, need to get you on. We need to have a chat one night. Maybe me and you sit there and have a little fantasy football talk. One of the later games here, the Atlanta Falcons travel to Arizona to take on the Cardinals. Hey, look, he's back, right? Kyler Murray's back. I don't think anybody's nervous, to be honest with you. He's not that great. He got balls batted down left and right, but Falcons can't put it away. They go down early, but bounce back, and then they just cough it right back up. Heineke threw for 55 yards. Hold on real quick. Hold on. 8 completions for 55 yards. Bijan went for 14 carries and 62 yards and a touchdown. Now, Heineke did throw a touchdown. I forgot who. Scotty Miller got him one. Kyle Pitts, 2 receptions for 25 yards. The Atlanta Falcons officially are absolute dog water. They're so bad. It's unbelievable. Like I was like, let me pick the Falcons. I feel good about them this week. I don't know why I said that. Like I had a stroke, I guess, when I did it. It didn't make any sense, and it certainly doesn't make sense now. 55 yards in a quarter, right? Yeah, because didn't he get bounced? I saw what's his name in there. I don't know why they don't have what's his name stat. There it is. Tyler Heineke, 55 yards, and then Desmond Ridder came in and finished things off, 39 yards. I got to refresh these things all the time. Bijan, 22 carries for 95 yards. Let me do this for the next couple. Hold on. Let me refresh. I want to be giving y'all some bad information. Hold on. There we go. Get back to it. There we go. So Bijan almost hit 100 yards. He had his TD. Desmond ran one in as well on his own. But nobody received over 36 yards. Like 3 for 36. Drake London was the highest receiver. Kyle Pitts, 3 for 30. Ugly game. It was an ugly game. Yeah, the whole game. It was there was like 2 or 3 just really just ugly, hideous games that you want to know part of, and this is one of them. Every time they showed it, it's like, ugh. No one cares. They're not doing it. Neither one of these teams are going to do anything. But anyways, yeah. What's his name's bad. Kyler Murray tossed 19 completions, 249 yards, and an interception. Excuse me. My eyes itching like crazy. He ran one in. He had 6 carries for 33 yards. James Conner led the team, 16 and 73. Clayton Tune on the 1 ran it in. There you go. It's kind of a boring game. It really did suck. If you got stuck watching this game, I'm sorry. Another one coming up here in a few minutes. Yeah, tonight's game's going to suck. We'll talk about that here in a second. Like, Jesus, I don't know what the hell's going on with these games. Flex something. Flex it. We got Giants heading to Dallas. Look, there's something in my eye. There's an eyelash in my eye. Giants heading to Dallas, take on the Cowboys. Cowboys ran away with this one immediately. Immediately. So all my bets cashed. I did the first quarter, the second quarter, third, and I think I did the game as well. Tommy DeVito, 86 yards, 2 touchdowns and interception. Saquon rushed 66 yards. Bellinger led the team with 34 yards receiving. He had 2 receptions. It was terrible. Lawrence Cager got 1 touchdown, and Sterling Shepard got the other for the Giants. And then Dak Prescott threw for 404 yards, 4 TDs, and 1 interception. Cooper Rush came in and threw an interception just to make sure, they threw 1 more goddamn interception. Hold on real quick. I'm going all the way back to what we have here. Draft time will be very interesting with Murray and maybe even Fields going somewhere else. Next draft will be amazing. Not as bad as Tyler Boyd's hands. Jesus. I mean, right. Giants scored late to pull them within 32 points. Yeah, I think the over-under was like 17 and a half. So that was definitely, I was like, there's no way they don't cover this, right? Anyways, yeah, Dak performs amazing against absolutely terrible teams. And the Giants are one of the worst teams in the league. Yeah, congratulations. Y'all are going back to the Super Bowl. Rico Dowdle, 12 carries, 79 yards, and a touchdown. Dak Prescott, he ran one in as well. Tony Pollard only had 55 yards on 15 carries. Well, it's not terrible, but, he didn't even lead the team, and he's the starting running back out there. Brandon Cooks, 9 receptions for 173 yards. 9 for 173, folks. It was insane. CeeDee Lamb, 11 for 151 and a touchdown. Mike Gallup, 2 for 70 and a touchdown. Jake Ferguson, 2 for 26 and a touchdown. But, I mean, again, it's against a god-awful team. Like, I mean, come on, man. There's no one. There's no one that cares. This should have been his game. Yeah. Well, it's not Pollard. It's the staff. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. Cowboy fans are like, yeah, we're going back to the Super Bowl. Here we go, man. I'm like, yeah, nothing gets you jacked after losing against a good team and then beating the shit out of a terrible team. Just for reference, I think the Miami Dolphins hung 70 on New York. 70. I know how much you love to hate Dak. I got Dak on my fantasy team. I love Dak. He's just slightly above average QB playing for a high profile. Why did I say whole profile team? High profile team. Stop hating on this dude. His whole family is dead. His brother's still alive. The other ones are dead. Yeah, it's all good. Yeah, no, I don't hate on him. He's just not a good quarterback. You're right, though. He's slightly above average. Like, to be honest,
you probably know the feeling. Sweaty, fast breathing, quick heart rate. That's a cortisol spike. It feels awful, and its imbalance is the cause of your anxiety. Rebalance Health's 3-part anxiety system helps address it at the root. Rebalance Health lozenges are natural and designed for optimal absorption, providing 24-hour relief. Live life fully without feeling like you're fighting for it. Get 50% off your first month with code CALM23 at rebalancehealth.com.
With the makeup of the QB situation in the NFL right now, half of these teams would absolutely take Dak with no question. They'll pay him any amount of money, whatever, guaranteed. Just because there's a massive fall off from the really good QBs to what these other teams are scraping together, like New York, right? The Giants are in trouble. The Jets are in trouble. There's so many teams. I'm not S-ing you right now. There are so many teams that would love to have Dak. They would pay Dak anything they wanted. But yeah, if the Cowboys had a little bit better quarterback situation, like if they had Josh Allen, they had Pat Mahomes, buddy, be hanging some banners in Arlington. Then I think the last game of the night here is the Commanders going to Seattle to take on those Seahawks. They drop 26-29 in a heartbreaker. It was a pretty fun game to watch. They're just trading touchdowns and field goals and like that. Sam Howell threw for 312 yards, 3 touchdowns and no interceptions. Brian Robinson had only 38 yards rushing. Sam Howell had 17. Brian Robinson, though, receiving, had a hell of a day. 6 for 119 and a touchdown. Antonio Gibson had 5 for 42 and a touchdown. Brown had a touchdown. Scary Terry only had 4 for 33. So, your running backs were your actual receivers in this one. You know what I'm saying? He's not throwing it downfield to Scary Terry. He's not, you know what I mean? It's he's I'm just going to dump it off. I got freaking alerts from fantasy going off. Oh, there we go. Already talking about waiver wire. Listen, I plan on trying to get back on with the SB fantasy football and trying to kind of keep up with that. It's just me. I'm sorry. I've got too many effing things going on. I'm excited to see Wentz again. No one's excited to see Wentz again, but except for whoever's playing them. How many really good QBs are there? 7 or 8 max? I think 8 would be a little on the high side. We can look at them though. I mean, I'm more than willing to sit down and talk about it. In fact, We're going to do that here in a minute when we look at fantasy stats. So stay tuned, you damn cat. Next up, great to see you. Hey, great to see you. Great to see you. A snoozer tonight. I might just drink myself to sleep. New York Jets, the Jersey Jets, travel to Vegas to take on the Raiders. Neither one of these teams are above 500, and I don't think anybody cares. Yes, I think the Raiders could win this game, but let's be honest, the Jets probably should pull this out defensive alone. I think Garoppolo's been benched. I don't even know who the damn quarterback is right now for the Raiders. Who knows? Like, who the hell is it? Let me go to players. Who the hell's the quarterback? Is it Aiden O'Connell? There's no effing way. There is. I think it is. I think he's the starter tonight. Jesus Christ. Be done with it. Don't care about that game. Moving on. The cat roots for cat-themed teams like the Bengals. Good. Good. And you should. Monday night games, kind of a snoozer as well. The Broncos are playing the Bills. Like, Aiden O'Connell. Yeah, that's what I thought. I probably should switch my pick real quick. If you give me a second, I'm gonna do something on the fly as I'm sitting here, because I think the Jets are gonna win this game, and I think I need to make a play here. Jets, lock it in. So the Jets are gonna win 13-10. Let's do 6. 13-6. If this cost me my week, I don't know what I'll do. But let's go Jets. Jets, Jets. 5-3. You're probably closer than a lot of people. Then like I said, we got the Broncos and the Bills. Bills should run through the Broncos with ease, with no issue in mind. But the Bills have suffered lately. It shouldn't be a problem. But Bills are 5-4, man. They've had a rough year. I always picked them to kind of win the Super Bowl. They got problems. It's internal. Some of it could be mental. So there you go. That is this week in football. Let's go ahead and take a look at the standings. We'll do the NFC first, because this is the league that's not going to win a Super Bowl this year. All right? You cool with that? I'm cool with that. Starting with the NFC East. Oh, you know what? Let me refresh. I'm just going to refresh, just so I make sure I got the right crap up here. Who's picking games for ESPN? Monday Night Football. I don't know any of those people. They're terrible anyways. AFC East, Dolphins 6-3. Bills right now, as it stands, they're 5-4. Jets are 4-4. So Jets can improve to 5-4. The Bills can improve to 6-4. Here we go, right? Like, the AFC East is up for grabs, really. And it's amazing that the Jets are still in it. Watch Aaron Rodgers come back and just win that division. AFC West is a firm hand on the control. The Chiefs will take care of business. They're 7-2. Chargers are 4-5. Raiders are 4-5. Broncos 3-5. Broncos should lose, and the Raiders should lose a day to add on to the Chargers' loss. The AFC West is one of the softest divisions there is. AFC North, the Ravens lost today. Steelers are in second place at 6-3. Browns is 6-3. Bengals in the cellar at 5-4. Who day? AFC South, Jags 6-3, Texans 5-4, Colts 5-5, and the Titans are 3-6. Watch out. Do not be alarmed. The Texans will win the AFC South. You heard it. The league hates the Dolphins. I like the Dolphins. They're fun to watch. I would love to see them in the playoffs and just let craziness, just wild ass ensue. Wait, hold on. Did I say I was going to do the AFC first and then I went to the NFC? Sounds about right. I'm such a ding. Such a ding-dong. All right, so that was the AFC, folks. Let's move on to the NFC. The NFC least. Eagles 8-1. The Cowboys are 6-3. The Commanders are 4-6. The Giants are 2-8. With this one, obviously the Eagles are going to win this division. No really question or whatnot. They are the better team. Cowboys will screw around and, beat some bad teams here or there, but no. NFC West can be interesting. You got the 49ers 6-3, along with the Seahawks at 6-3. The rest of the teams, Rams and Cardinals, they're 3-6 and 2-8 respectively, and they're not going anywhere. There's no concern. NFC North just got interesting, folks. That's right. The Bears suck, the Packers suck, but the Vikings have found new life with Josh Dobbs. Lions lead the division 7-2. Vikings are right there 6-4. Pack 3-6, Bears 3-7. Should be fun down the stretch to watch them a little bit more. The Lions and the Vikings. Give me more Josh Dobbs. Just give me more Josh Dobbs. The NFC South, if I said there was another worse division, I lied, because the NFC South is the worst division in the effing league. The Saints are in the lead. And you're like, oh man, the Saints are in first place in the NFC South. They must have a good record, right? 5-5. The Bucs are 4-5. The Falcons are 4-6. The Panthers are 1-8. They all suck. No one cares about who comes out of this division because plainly they're not going anywhere. Nowhere. They are all terrible teams that are not, they don't have great quarterbacks, sus defenses, and the coaching could need use an overhaul. Eagles are about to lose 3 straight. Oh, there it is. Coming in hot from the Cat. The Cat is calling it now. Mark it down. On the 12th of November of 2023, the Cat says they're going to lose 3 in a row. Maybe 4, he says. I'm not comfortable yet. Hasn't been a back-to-back NFC champion years. Yeah, no. The chances are that this would be the first time they'd have it. You know, looking at the schedules, and I have to look and see what the Eagles have coming up. And then versus what the Cowboys have coming up. But the Eagles are playing here's the problem. And I will say this. Let's go ahead and look at that real quick. I have a minute to talk about it. Let's talk. Here's the Eagles. And they actually talked about this last week on the broadcast. They said they have like the hardest next 6 games. The Eagles have to play the Chiefs in Kansas City, the Bills at home, Niners at home, the Cowboys in Dallas. Well, Arlington. They don't play Dallas. Seahawks in Seattle, and then they get a break with the Giants, then the Cardinals, and then the Giants again. You're talking 5 tough games. If you don't want to count the Seahawks, fine. 4 extremely difficult games. They can cough every one of those up. They can cough each one of those up. And let's just look at the Cowboys real quick. They play the Panthers, the Commanders, the Seahawks, then the Eagles, December 10th, Bills, Dolphins, Lions, Commanders. If we are seriously taking a look at this schedule, the Dolphins have a rough 4-week stretch. Cowboys should run the Panthers, in Carolina, home against the Commanders for the Thanksgiving game. They should win that. Seahawks, but they're at home. The Cowboys are at home. Shouldn't be worried. They get to host Eagles, so they will have that little bit of advantage. This game could be even money, like a pick 'em. Then they have to go up to play Buffalo, right? Then they have to go down to Miami and play the Dolphins, a crazy high-powered offense. But they can get after them. They get to host the Lions. That could be a great game. Like, I might go to that game just to have some fun. Why not? December 30th, here in Arlington. Oh, boy. Against the Lions. We'll see what happens. Next 4 brutal. Yeah, I know, right? Bye came at a great time. Hurts is banged up. He is very banged up. Yeah. So the NFC East is up for grabs. It's crazy schedules for both the teams, but if I had to lean to one way or another, the Eagles have a more difficult schedule coming up. The Cowboys have an easier schedule, but they are, like I said, they're 2 games back. We'll see what happens. But like I said, it's a long way. Let me refresh this fantasy. We're on Yahoo Fantasy. If you're wondering, you're not going to believe who scored the most points this week. I mean, you're going to believe it because it was the quarterback that played against the Giants. Dak Prescott put up 51.90 points, tossing 4 touchdowns, ran one in himself. Keenan Allen, next guy up, had a hell of a day. 40.50 points, 11 receptions, 175 yards, 2 touchdowns. There's the next person up would be Herbert in the shootout with the Lions. He threw a ton of touchdowns. We talked about this earlier. 4 touchdowns and 1 interception. He scored 39.65 points. CeeDee Lamb, 39.50. So as you see what's going on here, you have 2 really good receivers that performed crazy numbers. Keenan Allen and CeeDee Lamb. The rest are going to be quarterbacks until you get down to St. Brown. St. Brown scored 32 points. 100. Why don't they have his numbers here? This is like drive me crazy. 8 for 156. There they are. Crazy because he's not passing, but I got everybody lumped in together. I will say this: the surprise of the week is going to be Brandon Cooks for 173 yards, 9 receptions, absolutely bonkers. Now there were some players that you're just like, what the hell is going on? And you know what? I'm going to save that for the fantasy podcast Fantasy Football, SB Fantasy Football. You can find that wherever you listen or stream your favorite podcast or your least favorite podcast. Or if you want to see the video, it's on YouTube. SB Fantasy Football. I think I'm going to get out of here. I got to finish this beer real quick because this was a tall boy, but it was super hoppy. So it actually was a really good beer to sit here and talk because it wouldn't be pounding the whole time. Again, this is 6 Point Resin DIPA. Is beer is culture. It's 9.1% alcohol by volume. I should have got the oh my God, I can't even think tonight. Like the IBUs. That's all I'm looking for is the IBUs. And I can't even spout that out of my mouth right now. 103 IBU. So you know it's hoppy. Here we go. This is what Untap has. Resin is named after a sticky ooze that secretes from the lupulin glands of the hop cone. There you go. Average score 3.96 out of 337,000 check-ins. 196 of those are unique. So a lot of people going back to the well to hit this one. I thought it was pretty good. Didn't have a problem with it. Listen, we got a couple more games to come up. Tonight, we got the Sunday night game. We got the Monday night game. I hope to hit a waiver wire show with you because I should be home early tomorrow from work. And then Tuesday, I'll be working from home. Done with the late nights. The crazy, crazy nights that we're sitting there staying up all freaking night on Monday. I'm done. I ain't got it no more. Just Be a Dad podcast. The TJ's in the house. What's going on? I really enjoyed the Halloween chat that you, TJ, and Nate, and Dylan, you guys got together. Really enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. Even though you guys really don't know a lot about like Halloween movies and how like that whole thing works. Don't be a quitter. Oh, come on. Yeah, working from home. I like working from home on Tuesdays. Yeah. Tuesdays and Thursdays are generally my work from home days. Everything else, I go to the office. I just got to knock some stuff out. And then I get like the rest of the year off. You know what I mean? Like I've got like one more month left. And I'm just done. So let's enjoy this snoozer of a game. Jets and Raiders. I'm going to go out there and probably have a couple more. I'm going to have some claws. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to have some claws. Relax. Unwind. Big shout out to everybody who joined me tonight. You catch a show every Sunday about 6:20, 6:30, right before the late night. We love you. I give this a thumbs up, a sticky thumbs up. JETS. Jets. Let's win some money. That's right. You have a great night. We'll see you next time. I'm RD. Later.
You probably know the feeling. Sweaty, fast breathing, quick heart rate. That's a cortisol spike. It feels awful, and its imbalance is the cause of your anxiety. Rebalance Health's 3-part anxiety system helps address it at the root. Rebalance Health lozenges are natural and designed for optimal absorption, providing 24-hour relief. Live life fully without feeling like you're fighting for it. Get 50% off your first month with code CALM23 at rebalancehealth.com.